Man, when I tell you that things are bound to change and people are due to grow and become what they have been created to be, that is exactly where I am with this next individual. He is no stranger. Of course, he is family. I'm gonna bring him in just a second. So before we do that, we have to do this right here. Let's get it. Buddy, you already know what it is when you hear that music. It is once again on as the Shakeback Sports Show OT, powered by the Big Game Christian Sports Network. It's your boy Willie Epteen Jr. in the hizzy. Zero blitz, cover one, press cover one, whatever you want to call it. That is what we're about to get into. And who am I going on the line of scrimmage with? Look, he's a young bull. I mean, I wouldn't even go out there on the field with him at all. I am talking about none other than the nephew, Jonathan McGill, defensive back, Stanford University. Jonathan McGill, what's going on, nephew?
Not much. How you doing?
Man, everything good, man. Everything good. I appreciate your time. I know you busy. I know you got summer school going on. I know you working out. I know you trying to get ready for the season that's coming up. So I always appreciate you taking a few minutes to come and talk to your boy, man, for a minute. So let's just get right into it. I'm not gonna keep you too long. So the season, the spring game has come and gone. What are some of the biggest positives that you take from your own development from that spring contest and all throughout the spring workout?
I'd say for myself, just getting a lot of reps, just stacking repetitions, transitioning more towards playing safety this upcoming season along with nickel. So just getting an opportunity to go out on practice and just, continue to rep, our installs day 1, day 4, day 5, day 7. Just continuing to stack days on top of each other was really a big positive for myself. It helped me see things faster, understand the defense more, and just be able to play faster on that football field.
Coming to year 3, of course, you played as a true freshman out of Coppell High School. All of the accolades, they precede themselves. Again, I just remember what it was for you as a freshman playing on the varsity stage in a 6A program, and your growth is nothing short of remarkable. Kind of tell the listeners about how that progression has taken place, being in the fact that you were a freshman on the biggest scale in high school football, and then you go to a Power 5 conference where you actually played there as a true freshman.
Yeah, I'd say the similarities were kind of the same. Freshman year of high school, kind of going in playing a new position that I had never really played before. I played majority offense throughout middle school. Running back, receiver, but everybody plays both ways in middle school, so I also played a little bit of defense. But freshman year transitioned into a different position, getting thrown onto the defensive side of the ball, not thinking, score touchdowns and make people miss, but now you're thinking be physical, set the tempo. So just that mindset of transitioning to a different position along with, now you're playing with older guys, you're playing with, guys that's been there for 2-3 years of high school, been starters. 18-year-olds, you're 15 years old. And so just the mindset of being able to compete with older guys, keeping that competitive edge, but, also understanding that you are in unfamiliar territory. So I think my high school experience was helped shape me for my college experience. It kind of gave me the tools that I needed and kind of what I expected in a sense of gain the respect of the upperclassmen. That's the first thing you got to do. In workouts, my freshman year of high school, I did that. My freshman year As soon as I reported on campus, I try to do that as well. Just work as hard as you can in the summer workouts, in the lifts and the runs, compete. Give it your all. Don't leave anything on the field. And then just ask questions, absorb information. That's the biggest thing I'd have to say for freshmen. Don't be afraid to ask, upperclassmen, hey, why do we play this coverage this way? Why do we do, this lift this way? Why don't we do this? You can be curious as long as it's coming from a great standpoint and understanding. So I think, just high school prepared me for college. I think playing at a 6A program like Coppell with great coaching staff and also, great teammates that I could look up to just prepare me for Stanford, where I have, great teammates now. The upperclassmen were really helpful. And, we also have a great coaching staff as well. So, it was parallels in both.
Yeah. Coach Shaw is one of the premier coaches in America. And I can only imagine what it would be like playing for, a person of that particular stature. Here's a kind of a funny question, being the fact that I grew up the first part of my life in California and in the Bay Area for that matter, but on the East Bay. Let people know how much of a difference it is in spring practice in California than it is in Texas.
Yeah, so it's a difference for sure. We practice in the afternoons at school, so it'll probably be around. I want to say practice started at 4:30. And so at that time, it's like 60 degrees, not hot at all. You got a breeze, nice cool breeze compared to, you in Texas. We practiced in the morning, so we would have some cold, wet mornings. Dew would still be on the turf at Coppell. You out there in long sleeves and, gloves, and then halfway through practice, you got to take the long sleeve and the gloves off because now you're getting too hot on that turf. So I think the weather in California is a lot easier. I tell the guys all the time on our team, and once we're in summer camp, they're complaining about the heat. I'm like, man, if you haven't done a 2-a-day or a summer practice in Texas on turf, I don't want to hear anything from y'all. So.
And that would even, I don't know the roster makeup. I do know there's a lot of players on the squad from Texas. I know there's a lot of players on the squad. There's a few players on the squad from Louisiana. They could probably relate to the Texas heat because out there it's a little bit more, actually a lot more humid. And I don't know if you have any teammates out there from Arizona. Are there any players on there from Arizona?
We have a couple. We do. We have a safety, Noah Williams. He's from Arizona. He talks about the dry heat. Him and another corner that we have, Donjay Logan. They talk about the dry heat in Arizona. And I don't think it compares. I think Texas and Louisiana are just hot. It's you go outside and you just feel like, your skin just burning, and you don't get that feeling in California. You could hop off a plane with a jacket on and be solid. So
yeah, and one of the many things I miss about that state, but that's neither here nor there. All right, so there was you've had a bit of a jersey change.
Yes, sir.
I remember it being about number 3, and then it went to be about 32. What is it about going forward?
For myself, I don't know. In high school, I wore, actually my freshman year of high school, I wore 23. Didn't really get a chance. It was, it was either like 23 or like 45 or 40. And I was like, yeah, I'm taking 23 any day. So I went from 23. In middle school, I wore number 3. And so I switched to number 3 my sophomore year of high school and then just kept it throughout. My freshman year coming into college, it was, like 32 or 24. Same situation. So I chose 32, thought it was a, great number to have. And then this upcoming off season, I asked coach, we had a lot of older guys graduate, 4th year, 5th years. And so it was some numbers up for grabs. And so I reached out to coach, asked what numbers were available. Number 2 was available. So I was like, you know what? I'll switch to it. And so I like number 2. So I told my dad I went from 23 to 3 in high school. Now I'm going from 32 to 2. So I'm just dropping a number. So I'm keeping the same, around the same digits. But yeah, my mom and dad wasn't too happy about that with the jerseys. So they had to buy a couple more,
Oh
couple
yeah,
more jerseys.
everything they have is
It was
32. Right?
32 exactly.
Oh man,
So
that's all right, man. You'll make up for it in a couple years when you were in the draft, so it ain't no big deal.
exactly.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you something else too about that. I'll come back to it. This is what it was. You now have, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jonathan McGill, defensive back from Stanford, also from Coppell High School, esteemed member of Antioch Christian Church. I call it the Big ACC. And we're talking about all things football. And look, there was a pretty prominent person that also just changed their number from 32 or from 23 back to a previous number that he had, and that was number 6, and that's LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
I have an opinion as to why I think he did that. I think he might be trying to channel his inner self and his greatness when he was in Miami, dominating the league and winning finals MVPs. I think he won 2 MVPs, 2 regular season MVPs while he was down there. So is that for you? Is it more set? Is it more so trying to elevate based on what your previous play was according to whatever number, or was this just like, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna change?
I think for me, I think it's just just a change. I think 2's different. Not too many, I guess, comparisons. With 32, you obviously get comparisons to like Tyrann Mathieu, Budda Baker, guys that did wear that number and were awesome in that number. So 2 for me, I don't know, it's just a change for me. I just wanted to getting older, maturing, finding my stride a little bit. Just wanted a change from 32. Nothing's wrong with 32. 32 is actually a really good number. So if anybody wants to wear 32, hey, go ahead, wear it. But I just thought for myself, it's more just a change. Just coming into something new. And yeah.
Yeah. So I want to get to a couple NFL subjects here in just a second, but I do want to finish out with everything that's going on in Stanford, or what's at Stanford right now. So when you're entering into your 3rd year, now you're an upperclassman. Now you're one of the OGs, if you will. What is that like coming from a true freshman, wide nose, kind of just like all over the place, maybe? I remember when you first just scored your first touchdown to now being in this position of a person that's going to be really a leader in terms of on the field play. But what about vocally? Is that something that you stepped up as well?
Yes, sir. Malik Antoine was a big vocal leader for us last year. He graduated, and each and every year, you have older guys and upperclassmen graduate, dudes that have voices, leave the locker room. And so you also have to have guys that continue to uphold that standard each and every year. And so, for myself, naturally, ever since I was probably in middle school or even Pee Wee football, I've been a vocal guy on the field, whether that's, trying to help my teammates get set up for a play or, whatever sport we're playing, basketball, football. We could be out there, playing pool or video games. You know what I'm saying? I'm out there trying to, help command the team. So I think just naturally coming. It's kind of I've just been a leader or at least vocal for a large part of my life. And so, once I am getting older, it's kind of it's just coming natural to myself. If something needs to be said, we'll say it. And just where the direction of the team goes, that's where usually the leaders lead. And so I'm just trying to help our team out the best, be as vocal as I can be in the back end, especially being a safety. Communications a lot. And so I'm just trying to be the best I can be.
Now, last year was a year unlike any of us have ever seen. And we talked about it when you were on the last time about how there were really I think y'all had one home game, maybe 2 home games?
One home game, yes, sir.
Yeah. And this year, with the pandemic, and your dad prophesied over this past Sunday or a couple Sundays ago that the pandemic is over. Tell everybody out there about how you're looking forward to seeing the people back in the seats there on the farm.
Yeah, for sure. Can't wait. Our game day experience is unique, for sure. I think I can't wait to, even the spring game, seeing fans in the stands, finally get a chance to see my parents, along with my brother, actually watching me play and participate for the first time since, well, that was the first time my brother seen me since the Notre Dame game in person, or at least play in person. And so that was from November. Just to see them. My dad's a big guy watching me. He can tell how I come out in a game or pregame, if I'm gonna play well, how I'm moving, if I'm confident. And so just seeing them be out there, just seeing them, just be in the stands was something that was really great for myself. But, we got a lot of great home games this year. And so I can't wait to see what our fans come out and do. And our away games are, great as well. Week 1 will be in Dallas, knowing it's going to be a good turnout. And so I just can't wait, just to have fans back in the atmosphere, bringing, that extra juice for our home games and away games to get us amped up. And so I just can't wait. That's one of my favorite things about game day. Definitely the fans, for sure.
So the first game is at Jerry World. Who's that against again?
Kansas State, September 4th.
Okay. And you mentioned Notre Dame, and I wanted to ask you about this too. Stanford's biggest rivals are Notre Dame, Cal, and probably SC.
USC. Mm-hmm.
Of those 3 rivalry games, which one is the most intense? Not just the game itself, but game week leading up to game day. Which one of those is the most intense?
I think it's a big game for sure. My freshman year, I didn't get a chance to play against SC. That was week 2. I was still just on special teams at that moment. So I didn't really get into the game plan for defense that week. I was more scout team. So I was on a different side of the field. But I think for myself, and I think for everybody included, majority on the team, I think the big game and securing that X and keeping that X is definitely probably the biggest rival, and definitely the biggest rival that we have, one of the biggest rivals in college football, longest tenured rivals in college football. So the big game is definitely one of my favorites to play in the intensity. This past year was a great game. A lot of back and forth momentum, block kicks, multiple block kicks. Shout out to Book, T Book and Semi Fahoko and Curtis Robinson, for getting penetration and getting back there. But I'd say the big game for sure. I'm really excited for Notre Dame. They had coming off a great season last year, and as well as SC, they got a lot of young talent, and also some guys that transferred in from Colorado, KD Nixon and Keontae Ingram from Texas. So just some guys that, I met in recruitment, and getting a chance to play them in California at SC is going to be something that's going to be really cool. So I can't wait for those 3 games for sure. And, all the rest of the games on our schedule. Now,
the game against SC will be in LA. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Week 2.
Will y'all be playing it at SoFi, or was it still going to be at the Coliseum?
Coliseum.
Okay. So we're looking at 90,000 plus probably.
Mm-hmm.
I call the Coliseum Hoover Way, since it's right there off of Hoover Street in LA. So, all right, man. A couple NFL questions I got for you. I know you saw about the trade that landed Julio Jones in D as a DB. How much would you be looking forward to having to go up against a dude that's 6'3" and 230 and runs a 4.4, and then another dude on the other side is about 6'3" and 235 and runs about a 4.5?
Yeah, and also having Derrick Henry in the backfield. And so that tandem, or those 2 duos at receiver and that running back, that'll be a lot of fun for sure. And as a DB, the worst. You have great games when it's quiet games, right? When your name's not really getting called, especially as a corner, that means you're having a great day.
Mm-hmm.
When now corners, when they play the Titans, you're going to get targeted, whichever side you're on. In that. So corners is definitely being a competitive guy. I'd love to play them, line up against them. Obviously, both of them are really, really good. Julio's one of the greats to ever play. AJ Brown is a dog. Just watching him play, he can go a lot of yards after catch. And then also, playing Derrick Henry, definitely a top 5 back, and even number 1 on some people's list. So just getting an opportunity to play that offense would be something that's really, really fun and competitive for sure.
I didn't want to bring up Derrick Henry because he figures into the passing game a little bit, but not nearly as much as those two guys outside, of course. And then they got a pretty good tight end too in Jonnu Smith. So I think the Tennessee Titans are going to make some noise this year. Still a Dallas Cowboy fan? You?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. My dad, my grandpa, my uncles raised me to be one. It's funny because the women in my family, my grandma likes antagonizing my grandpa. My mom used to, when I was growing up on Thanksgiving, if the Cowboys lost, they'd always be, laughing and dancing, and all the men would be real, real quiet. So I'm still a Cowboys fan, love Dallas. Grew up in Dallas, so got to root for the home team.
Yeah, and CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, and those guys. Look, that's a tandem that a lot of people are saying are going to be very, very, very good this year from an offensive standpoint. And the Dallas never has had a problem with putting up numbers as far as offense goes. The problem has been that defense, but they made a lot of changes this year, so they got that shored up. All right, Jonathan, man, this is the shameless plug part of the show where you give everybody your information as to where you can be found, how they can watch you, how they can follow you or whatever.
All right. So my Instagram handle is at Jonathan McGill 32. My Twitter handle is at Original McGill 3. My Twitch, I'm about to start streaming on video games. So it's at JMcGill 3. So y'all could look at my Twitch. I'm gonna start streaming some Call of Duty Warzone with some of my friends. So I'm gonna start streaming that. What else? And yeah, that's about it. That's the socials right there. Facebook, I don't use Facebook. So don't get offended if I don't add you back. I opened the app in about 3 years. And so yeah, I'd say those are about the only socials right there.
Wait a minute, no Madden?
Oh, Matt. Well, I haven't played Madden in a long time. I've been on Warzone, playing Call of Duty. I've been on, I used to play Fortnite, graduated from that. Now I'm on Warzone. I still play Madden here and there, 2K as well. So, any game, I'm with it. So FIFA, UFC, whatever, I'm with it. I'm competing.
There you go. He don't just do it in person, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't just do it in real life. He does it on the games as well. So, man, we're going to get on up out of here. I appreciate your time, nephew, once again. Look, be safe. Have a safe flight. Going back to California, man. Y'all stay safe. For Willie Epstein Jr., or I am Willie Epstein Jr. For Jonathan McGill, I'm Willie Epstein Jr. It's been a hashtag. Or nope, this is the Little Shake Back Sports Show OT. Y'all stay safe. Y'all take care of each other. Y'all love each other. And we'll holler at y'all again real soon. Peace. We out.
Appreciate y'all.